Okay. Is this thing on? Is it on? Is it on? It is on. No. Oh my god. It's on. And you can hear the music. I'm assuming you can hear the music. You can hear the music, right? Mic is on. Can't hear you. Okay. But what about the music? Is the music on? No, I don't see the levels bouncing in OBS. That's the... Okay. Is the music on? Can you hear the music? No music. Are you... Music... Okay. This is critical. We're testing. We're breaking barriers here. Okay, so you can hear music, and you can hear my voice, so... No music. Right. Yes music or no music? Liz, is there music? Do I have to listen to my own stream? Mic is breaking up. Ooh. Interesting. Very interesting. Breaking up. Alright, audio sounds fine on my end. Let's see. Alright, let's just go for it, because I don't have all day. Alright. Oh. Hello? Why is this like... Is the camera like being weird? Okay. Still feels slow. Hello and welcome to a interesting episode of Hedgehog Makes Breaking Up Again. Interesting. Is it just the microphone? Testing 1, 2, 3. What could be weird? Alright, one moment. 1, 2, 3, testing. Feel bad.
All right. Testing. Muted on the mic. Okay. Yeah, echo. I get it, echo. Yeah, I know. Duplicate microphone. It should be good now? Yes? Yes? Maybe? Good. Okay. Let's run with this for a minute. I'll show you what I'm doing. And welcome to a Hedgehog Makes test stream. We are adjusting things. It's still breaking up. Has some static. What microphone did I select? Video broadcast should be working. It's crackling. All right. Working now. Okay, so before it stops working, let me try to share what I'm doing. So I have this. So right now I'm taking the output of StreamYard, or yeah, Streamlabs desktop. I'm outputting that into this virtual input. I'm inputting my microphone into the hardware input, and then I am listening to everything but my microphone. So that's the current setup. I don't know. It's not working. Okay. Bear with me then. There we go. So now you should be able to hear me. Yes, you can. And you should be able to see me. Okay, perfect. So, yeah, so, all right. So K2 says, voice meter, by setting the A1 source to MME, you're changing all the virtual sources to match a similar format. This may resolve the issue. By setting the A1 source to MME. A1 source. A1 source. What the heck is an A1 source? Oh. I have it as W. Oh. NVIDIA broadcast. Okay. That makes sense. Let's see. All right, let's try this. Hardware out. We're also MME. Okay, we're MME everywhere. Let me change my microphone. We're currently doing a test. Today's is testing day, if you haven't figured it out yet. We're doing a bunch of things. Bear with me. All right. All right, now I've switched over to the output of voice meter. We're gonna play with this for a bit, see how it sounds. Let me know if this is good. Sounds good. Okay. We're gonna play with this for like, I don't know, a good 5 minutes and see if it's any good, and then we'll switch back to the previous tests. So again, I figured out how to use the virtual camera in Streamlabs, which is my current streaming platform. It's like OBS, but with a more fancy look to it. And then I was trying to capture the audio. The audio is hard because I can't just capture StreamYard doesn't have an output. So that's the issue. So if this sounds good, then we'll try it one more time, okay? Just once, one more time. All right. Bear with me. Okay. Now we are, I know, if I didn't have everything already set up for this, not working. No audio? Not working? Just below. Yeah, chat's behind. Okay. You run all your audio through OBS. Okay. Yeah, I didn't have that set up, so maybe that's something to look into next time. And yes, this is again just a kind of a test, and honestly, a pretty good test, because this is weird. This is strange. So I was looking for a way to somehow stream into StreamYard, which is the best, streaming platform, because it can just go psh, and it records, and it has all the fancy things, and there's a lot of benefits of using this. But as you can see, Griffgear 3D just subscribed? What? What is that? What is that? Where did that come from? Did you subscribe on... See, I don't get anything... I can see you subscribed... Where? Where did you subscribe to? Alright, where'd my thing go? I'm gonna pull this out over here. Twitch. You subscribed on Twitch. Out of sync. Is it out of sync? It's very possible that it might be out of sync. If that's the case, that's quite annoying. But it makes sense because we're running it through a different filter. Sync is really close. I think I'd have to delay the video, right? Is that possible to do? You seem good in sync. NSync? Virtual camera, audio is going direct to StreamYard. Audio will always be out of sync. Yes, sort of. You're out of sync naturally. NSync, yes. Let's see. Which is okay, but YouTube is out of sync. It's the same stream. It's the same stream. How could it be out of sync in one platform, but in sync in another? What? How is that even possible? A video delay by 25 milliseconds. I can do that. I'm an expert at streaming, obviously. I can do that. This is... what source is this? I have 2 of these NVIDIA cams. I'm going to delete this one. That was the wrong move. Wrong one. Okay. That is the correct one. This one I delete. Yes. Yes, okay. Let's see. Figure video. Use Restream does the same thing as StreamYard, but supports OBS. Well, we are currently sponsored by StreamYard, so we're trying to use their platform right now the best as possible and give suggestions for stuff like that. YouTube is coming across different than Twitch. Interesting. That is really interesting. I don't know what to say about that. I can see it's slightly out of sync, I think. I feel like it's out of sync. Okay, you're saying it's good now? Where's my video properties? Oh, right here. How do I even adjust the sync? I have no idea. I did it once, but then never again. Flap your hands. I don't want to, because that's going to really show the sync issues. All right, let's see. If that even comes through. So the video should be delayed? Is it the video that's delayed? Or the audio that's delayed? This is fun. This is why I stream on Twitch. You're in sync to me. Okay, if we're... I gotta say, I have noise canceling. You can't see a sync issue. Okay, let's test it. Going for today. YouTube seems fine now. Okay, we'll just run with it because I did some stuff. I killed the stream. If you're having issues, try refreshing. Otherwise, let's do this. Okay. Hello and welcome to a Hedgehog Make stream. My name is Austin, aka Zombie Hedgehog, and today we are going to be fixing up this Rook. This is a Rook 2020. It is a little printer that I built. Also, we're going to be talking about Rooks in general and if you should buy one. Or, well, of course you're not going to buy one, but you're going to buy a kit to build one. Should you buy a kit? Should you self-source? All that type of stuff. And of course, this is a 3D printing and making Hangout. Feel free to ask any questions in chat. But most importantly, just have a good time. So, let's begin. We are using a slightly different platform today. We're using StreamYard to stream. I am live streaming to YouTube and Twitch to see how that goes. So if you see pop-ups on YouTube, it's probably from Twitch. Twitch allows for pretty easy integration for stuff like that. I have it all set up. I might try to get some stuff set up for YouTube in the future, but for now, it is what it is. So, welcome in. Let me switch over. I'm also using Streamlabs Desktop, my existing Twitch setup, to stream. Now this is too low. Okay, let's see. Let's fix that. So I'm using essentially OBS, but weird. This is just a weird test setup. So hopefully you will enjoy my testing. Everyone loves a good beta test, right? Okay. Good enough for me. So I'm kind of gonna be messing with this a little bit throughout the stream to make it as good as possible, but I suggest trying both streams. Try out Twitch and try out YouTube and see which one the quality is better on. Just give me your feedback, because YouTube has a higher bitrate, but I don't know if that translates through StreamYard. So we'll see. I'll put this over here so I can read both chats. I don't know if I can get alerts. I don't have enough screens for this. I sort of do, but I don't. So let me keep this here, and I'll have Twitch open, because YouTube, I can just read your comments. And open up my Twitch somehow. And if anything seems off, that probably means it is, so let me know, and we will get it sorted out. All right, I can read my chat over here. In fact, I already have it up, don't I? I do. All right, 3D Pine Labs. Hi, from Brazil. My name is Leo, and I want to build a Rook this year. I've discovered Rook due to your channel. Well, that's awesome. I am one of the original, users, builders, / beta testers of the Rook. In fact, I own Rook serial. I have Rook serial number 1. I was the first person to have a serialized working Rook that wasn't the creator. So, unfortunately, that's been torn apart, rebuilt. I think I might be using parts on it from here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm using the bed on here now and some other components. So, yes, this is essentially a 2020 version with slightly different printed parts for the original Rook. There's a lot of benefits to this, including slightly easier building, I would say. Maybe, issues here and there, like it's just different because you're working with extrusions instead of printed frames. But this is a lot more durable. It's a lot more sturdy. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see better. Get this, I had it all right, and now I want to zoom out. Okay. So this is kind of what it looks like right here. I currently have a power supply in the bottom. It broke during shipping, so I'll just keep it down here for now, but that's how I have the 350 watt power supply. Oh, do I keep bumping this every time I hit the camera? I think that's the issue. Yeah. Late? You're late, or am I late? Because I just got started. That's okay. But people have been begging me to stream on YouTube, so we're going to test this out, because this is my typical Twitch stream just on YouTube. So if you like this, let me know, because we will try to do this more often. So yeah, we'll figure it out. Watch the other video on the original Rook, and you're worried there will be warping issues over time. I cannot guarantee that the original Rook will just last forever. It's honestly, it's a learning experience first, and then it's a fun little printer second. that's really what the Rook is. If you're looking to get a more practical, I would say kind of more robust Rook, then this is a much better option. And it's really not that much extra for a BOM. It's probably about like $50 maximum, but that gets you, you know, all linear rail, or not linear rails, extrusions, pretty much just extrusions. It uses all the rest of the same components. But yes, it was PLA. I am working on a version of it for West 3D. In fact, I have some sample parts here, but we're currently working on a, oh, that's the one, a newer version with a basement, but using the same thing essentially. So the existing chassis on a slightly different enclosure, and then I have my side panels. So we'll work on it and try to get the best possible printed Rook. And Fabrico also has their design for Rook. It's, again, a simplistic design. They completely overhauled the whole thing. I suggest before you start building your Rook to look around and see what type of mods there are, because it was originally designed not to be perfect out of the box, but to be modified by the community. I thought that was an interesting idea, right? Don't spend all this time developing, perfecting something that people are just going to change anyway. So that's exactly what happened. It was developed, people changed a lot of stuff on it. Like Gulsifer added the speed mod, and then that became a thing. Also, the whole entire toolhead, the Rookery, that was all added as a user mod, and now it's essentially stock. So let's take a look at what I have here, because this is something kind of interesting. This was all printed in Polymaker Polysmooth. In fact, I randomly have a sample here. Let's head back on. I gotta gloop it on when I get my ABS glooping. But this stuff right here, this is PVB, originally developed by Polymaker as a alcohol smoothable material, but printable like PLA. So you dry it pretty well, you print it, and then you spray isopropyl alcohol on it, and it turns shiny, and it kind of melts the outer surface, which creates a really, really nice smooth finish. You can kind of see on the bottom here, this is all smooth, so it's really kind of soft, and it kind of like feels plastic-like, you know what I mean? It has that kind of texture. But it does a great job of hiding layer lines and stuff like that. So depending on if you like the look or not, you might want to look into Polysmooth. So I did that kind of as a test because it has very similar properties to ABS, except for the heat resistance. And I think it actually has more heat resistance than PLA. So your mileage may vary. I'm not saying this is the best material in the world to build printers out of, but give it a shot. I don't know. What's the worst that could happen? Like, seriously, what's the worst that could happen? It just stops working, I guess. But I'll be putting this through its paces. I had one fracture in this part right here due to shipping. And then this broke down here due to shipping. Otherwise than that, it seems pretty good. Yes, it's very similar to acetone smoothing ABS. In fact, if you had Polymaker's polisher, you could just throw these parts inside of it, let them cook, and then you have a nice, beautiful, smooth part. And yes, much, much, much safer than acetone vapor smoothing for ABS. Like, I wouldn't even really consider that. I bought some, but just for like welding, and even then, it's just not something that I want to use or recommend. But yeah, I did some testing on this. It looks pretty dang good. This one is not smooth, but this one is. My prints are already pretty decent, so it's hard to really see the layer lines, but I can guarantee it does look better smooth. Although you do have to have very consistent layer lines if you want it to look the best. But it's literally smooth. It's like kind of sticky. I don't know. It's cool. It's cool stuff. I also printed, and I'll be working on this for another project. But this is my, I guess, still in progress 3D printing snowman. there was just a model released that's a party hat, and this Friday, 5/12, May 12th, is my birthday, and I'll be using this platform in probably the same configuration to stream onto both platforms, and we'll celebrate my birthday. So I'll print off that hat. I'll I'll throw it on here. I'll print off the rest of the missing components. I think I have the arms around, but I put it away because, you know, I only have limited space on my studio, and I had it out for many months. So it's going to make a return. I'm very excited because this took a little bit to print, and this is all poly smooth, but I didn't smooth it. I found the finish to be pretty nice, unsmoothed. So I'm happy. So no hat yet. It was literally just released like a couple hours ago. So I'm pretty excited. Yeah, Steve knows. In fact, it's the whole like Steve and like, okay, Steve, Modbot, Nero, those viewers, they wanted me to stream on YouTube because they don't like Twitch. So you're getting the Twitch experience on YouTube. I hope you like it. It's literally the same thing, just different interface. But let's see if I can do this. So how's the volume of the audio? Is it any good? Happy almost birthday. Well, thank you. 2 days. We'll have some fun. That's you. What? Asking to stream on YouTube? I mean, that's fine. Some people prefer YouTube. It's honestly, the app, I can't say it's any better. No, I can't say it's better. They both have their issues, but some people prefer to use the YouTube app versus Twitch. Is perfect. Oh, awesome. I'm gonna kind of record where this is at. All right, about halfway. Perfect. Cool. Let's see. All right. So let me go and share my screen. I gotta get my Stream Deck set back up for this, but I can do this. And now we are browsing. Oh, I gotta, hold on. Let's do this. And I'm gonna steal this camera and then go to here. And then delete that. And then put myself back in. And I think the bottom corner does make sense. I don't know. Where do you expect a camera in a web interface? Where would you want a camera? Help me build my stream. I put it up here. Perfect. Where would you expect the camera? Down here? Is that fine? Yours almost finished. Nice. Not sure about the video compression. It says 1080p, but not very crisp. Yeah, so that's, we're streaming through StreamYard, so I don't know what the quality is via StreamYard. We'll have to see it afterward. And that's one of the complaints is on YouTube, when you stream directly to there, you can stream at like a lot more bit rates than Twitch. So this is 3D Printy's original snowman fidget. I'll tell you the small history as I know it. So this was made back in, December 2022. Okay. Or updated, not made. When was it made? When was it released? Default parts. 2021, looks like. So a long time ago. Cat camera's up left. That's funny. So this was an older model, but people started making it and scaling it up, because these are little things, right? They're like this big. And people started scaling them up and up and up and up. And it got to the point where it made more sense to just release a new model. Snowman puzzle blocks. So I believe this was remixed into the giant snowman fidget. It is big, as you saw. It is like a big model. Where did I put it? Right, like this is it's not a ton of printing because it's all hollow in the inside, but it's just big. Currently have some teeth of you holding it together. So that was a thing. And then, he started adding more accessories for different, different things. There's a top hat. I think he actually did them all as remixes. So yeah, there we go. So there was the, someone did a bow for the snowman, and then a collar. There's a sun hat, and then 3D Printy did some Valentine's Day themed stuff for the snowman, and then St. Patrick's Day themed stuff for the snowman, and then Easter themed things for the snowman, and now we have a party hat for the snowman. So this is the final, well, the current release of mods for this. Oh, I do like the fuzzy skin. Oh, I like that quite a bit. Yeah, I like the fuzzy skin for the snowman, and then the smooth for like the sweater. So, yeah, we'll be printing one of these out. I'll figure out what colors to do it in. It has a cool design. If you want to mod it or add some stuff to it, well, you can, because remix culture is allowed and encouraged. So if you want to take this and mod it or make your own accessories, here is the link. Go crazy and share your makes. So yeah, I'll be printing this off fairly shortly for Friday's stream, and we'll have the whole thing all built and assembled. It'll be a lot of fun. So make sure to tune in on Friday. So let's switch back to this one. Yeah, there we go. This one right here, and then we'll talk about the Rook. Oh, I can do this? Can I? Oh, this is why I like StreamYard, because I can do this. Bam! That's amazing. When is West 3D coming out with the configurator like you were talking about? Okay, so that's coming out whenever I finish the Rook. So you're waiting on me to essentially verify that the whole thing is done and ready. I think he can probably release it as is once he has all the parts. So maybe we're waiting on some parts coming in, etc. But when that's all the parts are in, then he'll release it. And then he's going to come up with either like an upgrade path or a special kit that uses my recommended parts. So if I'm recommending a different motor or a different hot end, etc., it's probably going to be a slightly more like a performance pack type of thing. So I've been working on that, and Gulsifer has been doing all the design for it, and we'll see what we can do, because it's a lot of fun. So back to this. Again, this is Rook 2020, and I decided to use the, what do you call this, Dragon Burner. This is a tool head for V0, right? It's a nice little compact. There's like almost no printed parts. It has a Revo in it, Revo Voron, and an LTO orbiter. And this is the nice little package that I put together for this build. And we're about to replace the back plate. I might need to put on this side. There we go. So this little mounting plate right here, it puts the tool head a bit too far back and interferes with one of these rear components. So Gulsifer made it a little bit thicker, and we're going to install it. And Pezliz wants you to go over to Twitch. Yeah, if you want to use the alerts and stuff like that, you can go over to Twitch. There's also Drop Game if you like that. That's one of the reasons why I continue to stream on Twitch, is because we have an integrated drop game where you type !drop, also known as bang drop, and people can cheer. So K2 Kevin, thank you for the 1 bits. I appreciate it. I should probably get back into my admin view so I can see that stuff. We have a Pezliz cheering 2 bits, thank you. All right, so this is the old one and the new one. It's only, where's my camera? It's only a little bit thicker. I don't know if it's gonna focus well. Let me refresh this camera. The camera doesn't like to focus for some reason when the screen's off. I don't know why. So it's a little bit thicker and printed better. Because wow, that's printed a lot better. That's insane. Let's see if I can zoom in on that, because that's kind of interesting. Focus. Focus. Oh, just press it manually. There we go. So this one right here was printed on the Kaiwu. You see what kind of walls we're getting on that Kaiwu? They are nasty. It's almost like fuzzy skin mode. And this was printed on the Rook itself. Like a little bit of self-replicating parts. So much better surface quality compared to kind of like whatever the heck that printer is doing. Ugh. So that's the reason why you want to build your own printer. Yeah, new song. Is it Belted Z? Yes, it is. It is in fact Belted Z. When you turn off the printer, this gantry will just fall. So I'm currently trying to work on a better end stop because it will slam against the end stop, and the end stop is just mounted with PLA. So yeah, we'll try to make a better end stop or something for it. In fact, sensorless homing works really well in these printers because you can just slam it and force it at the bottom. What filament is that? This filament right here is Galaxy Black from Polymaker. Galaxy Black, which is one of my favorites to just use as a random filament. I just print stuff in the Galaxy Black because it looks so damn good. That's my go-to. We're actually talking today. Would you guys be interested in more Galaxy colors? Not the metallic, but the special Galaxy powder they use. And if so, what colors would you want from Polymaker in Galaxy? So go take a look at their site and see what they currently have. The Galaxy Dark Blue is my favorite. I should probably reprint this because it's not the best quality, but the actual glitter used in it is not just regular glitter. It has like a blue sparkle to it, and it looks really good. I quite like it. It's subtle, but I love that effect. So I'd be interested in some more colors of that, for sure. Couple thin TPU bumpers at the bottom. Well, that's the thing. Like, it has to have an end stop. And nope, drop does not work on YouTube. That's why you want to go over to Twitch, because you get drop game. And this means I can't do a giveaway how I typically do it, because I'll typically do it on Twitch just using Streamlab. So I don't think I can do that without linking my YouTube. You're right. Sunday. Steve said Polymaker was manufactured by Inland. Polymaker makes a bunch of filament, and they do white label some filament, but they will not share where they have specific white labeling, because that's part of the, I guess, reseller agreement where you're not supposed to share the sources. So I will leave it up to you to determine which companies are, you know, where filament comes from. Stream mullet. So Nick uses StreamYard. Oops. Nick uses StreamYard. Polymaker Nicholas. I don't know how that works. Because you can... Oh, I'm not going to say that. You can have 1 in 1,000, right? I would do the form fill out thing if I was going to do it. I'd set up a form and then collect your username and... shoot, I dropped it again. I'm bad at dropping this today. I collect all information, do it that way if I was going to do it. And to be honest, I keep saying that I'm supposed to be doing that or switching over to it, and I probably should. Oh wow, I lost this piece. Oh, it's right here. But unfortunately, that's not something I can get set up for this amount of time. But if you want a Polymaker giveaway, I will be giving away some filament on Friday. So make sure to tune in for that. Friday on either platform if all goes well. Kelly Green, interesting. Well, if you have any specific color recommendations, make sure to join the Polymaker Discord, because that'll have all of your, you'll have all the resources to be able to give suggestions, give feedback, troubleshoot your stuff. So make sure to join the Polymaker Discord. Where does filament come from? Well, when a mommy filament and a daddy filament extrude, you get filament spools. You've never used Polymaker yet. I do have a roll of Polymaker ASA. You've not printed with yet. You do KBP, Stellar Colors, and Hatchbox. Tend to stay with what you know. And honestly, that is my suggestion too. Having a known brand, etc., doesn't really matter. If you have something that, a color that you like or a formula that you know how it works, like just use that. But don't be afraid to experiment. Try different brands, any brand that has a color or material that you might be interested in, and give them a shot, because you might be surprised. So right now we're just installing this back plate onto the Rook, and we're going to get it somewhat tight in the belts. I have these little belt clips developed by Kyle. This is available on printables. But I will say, if you're looking at getting ASA, I've had a great experience with Polymakers. A very, very good experience. I've actually never tried any other brands because I don't think I really need to. They have all the colors that I like, and their material prints well on my machines. So I purchased their ASA and ABS well before joining the Discord and helping them out with their admin stuff, etc. So from a user perspective, I've had very good luck with Polymaker stuff. And of course, now Polymaker has due to very popular demand from the 3D printing community, there are new colors of ABS and ASA. There is the Pop ASA, which is a bright, vibrant line. There is the Galaxy ABS and ASA, depending on what colors you like. And then there is also going to be Neon ABS colors, which will glow under black light. So those will be interesting. And I'm always looking for feedback, so if you guys have any, please hit us up on the Polymaker Discord so we can help, maybe change a product or maybe add another product that's missing, and etc. Very, very, very good about taking feedback. And this is causing me some trouble today. I don't know why. Is that a build plate for ants? It absolutely is. There's a reason why all of the V0 mods are called printers for ants, because they're tiny. Gonna put your beacon probe mounts with some ASA tomorrow on the VT250. So beacon on a Voron 250. Personally, it's probably a bit overkill, but you'll have great results. Let's just put it that way. I'm running a beacon on my essentially 350 size simple core, which is that big printer in the background, and I'm using it because it's a really big printer and the bed is not the flattest, right? I have about like 0.3 millimeters deviation over that large of a print bed. So I typically run a new bed mesh before every single print. And running it like a 9x9 bed mesh takes quite a while with the BL Touch. So that's why I went with a beacon, so that it would speed up my bed mesh, and now I get an even more accurate and very, very detailed bed mesh. My first layers look so good when the Z offset is set correct. So the only issue with beacon is that it doesn't set your Z offset. Like, there's no reference for it. So if you change your nozzle, etc., you're gonna be fighting with changing your Z offset. So just keep that in mind. And I think I have this on. There we go. Glad these still work with this adapter. Neon ABS, Neon ASA or ABS? It is ABS. You're asking because UV light can degrade ABS. UV light. UV can degrade ABS. It can discolor ABS, but does it actually degrade ABS? That is a question, a great question for the Polymaker Discord, because I am not a material science expert. I know that ABS will discolor in light. That's about it. You need to cut your 2020. It's pretty simple. It's not too bad. And you don't have to be super accurate if you use these corners. Like, you don't have to be accurate at all. Just close enough. You're gonna do a beacon on your V-core, but it's 200. Yeah, I like 250 is kind of like the maybe, depending on how warped your bed is. Like, it'd be great on an Ender where the bed is like this. So, or the Soul Bowl where the bed is like, oof. Ring tap and 250 ceilings Euclid. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, if you have a bed mesh system that works, just keep using it. If you have any system on your printer that works, keep using it. Don't feel the need to upgrade if you're looking for like a reliable printer. That's one of the biggest issues in 3D printing. And something that I can personally relate to is that if you upgrade your printer too much, it no longer becomes reliable and no longer prints better because you've done stuff that you haven't tuned correctly, or there's issues. Some type of issue will arise because you've modded it. So unless you are aware of issues and aware of the limitations, you might just want to stick with a closer to stock or closer to tested experience. Let's see. This connector is very finicky how I have it, so I gotta somehow get it in here. This tool head. Oh wow, how did I have this last time? Nothing else has changed, right? Nothing else has changed. Why is this being annoying? I think I had this like very, very closely shoved in here, and now it's just like not liking the orientation it's in or something. Let's see if I can fix that. Upgrade all the things. Yeah, you can. Just don't expect to upgrade and get perfection. You have to put in work. You have to tune your printer. You have to, use it. You might have to change. Might even have to change stuff in your slicer, which you wouldn't even think about. If you change out your extruder, for instance, you might have to change your flow or your pressure advance or something, even though it might seem like you don't have to. Finally done with the testing. Yes, we're done with testing. We are live streaming like a pro streamer. Just trying to see how this went on originally, because my little setup isn't happy. It's not happy. I don't know why it's not happy. what I'm probably going to do is just trim some of these zip ties and figure it out as I go, because, whatever. Hello, Maker Viking, welcome on in. Currently trying to, there we go, trying to get this tool head on without killing anything. But some of my wires were run a bit poorly, aka I had to put crypt connectors, like extensions, in weird spots. But I think this will be good, just like this. Let's get it screwed in. And if you're interested in putting a dragon burner on your regular Rook, note that it will decrease your travel. So it's already limited to 110 by 110 on a Rook. So now you'd be decreasing it by about probably 20 millimeters or so, depending. So you're gonna be like, not very much travel. So if you're aware of it and understand it and want better cooling and a direct drive extruder, that might be something to look into. Or just look into doing the 2020 version. So if you're running 2020, I would probably go with the dragon burner from the start. Otherwise, the regular Rookery is gonna be fine. So this is on here. It's not a super stiff printer. It's not gonna be. In fact, I'm missing a screw here. Let me get that in there. Had to extend all the hot end wires on your Sapphire S after mounting it on your truck. Yeah, that's an issue too that I've run with. Like, let's say I've set up my printer for a very specific setup, you know, a specific hot end, a specific extruder, and then you go to add something new in. Well, now the wires are just too short, and now I got to redo everything. That's why I personally like to do removable connectors if possible, whenever possible. How much travel does 2020 have? Well, it's increased by essentially 20 millimeters in each direction. That's the third one. So you can get a full build plate, I believe now. So you can get a full, or at least you should be able to get a full 120 by 120. So essentially whatever a V0 has. All right, this is good enough. Again, we don't have to push this to super high speeds, but yeah, there's a lot of flex in here if you're trying to push it to extreme accelerations. And that's partially due to not having a, like this is all in the printed part. So if this whole thing was even more stiff, then you probably have a better result. Or if you have specific, you know, X extrusion in the back there, it is what it is. We're doing a M4 Bowden on your Rook 2020. That'd be fun too. I mean, the nice thing I like about the Rook series and the Rook philosophy is it doesn't have to be perfect. You just use it and you mod it and you have fun. It's not supposed to be the best printer in the world. It's not supposed to be the fastest. It's not supposed to be a perfect printer. It's supposed to be your printer and whatever you want to do with it. So if you want to make it a mod where the bottom is a chessboard, that's very cool. It's very fun. So what I did with mine is I installed a Revo. So let's see if the printer works, first of all. Yes, it does. That fixed my issue. Oh, it's perfect. Yeah, so it doesn't hit the back anymore. So it could probably make it a little less thick, but it's fine. I am running an M4P in the back here. Very jank installation using a different adapter. And for those of you wondering, we are not doing a Twitch or a filament giveaway tonight. Instead, we are doing one over on Friday on my birthday because I have to set up a forum because we're using two different platforms. So I do apologize about that today, but Hope you understand. And you'll have many chances on Friday to win. Many chances. And on Friday, we're also giving away 2 West 3D gift cards. So West 3D is sponsoring 2 $50 gift cards. Or if you don't live in the US, you can get Polymaker filament as well. No high flow Revo. I just have the regular Revos and all the sizes, but they did give me an Obsidian. So I am happy about that, and we will be testing that out. Obsidian, it exists. Apparently people still think it doesn't exist, which is pretty funny. I got this nice Revo holder designed by Mad Monkey, which is nice and incognito because I'm using that Galaxy Black filament. It's nice to be able to use a printer that's just all essentially PLA, because you can just print anything to use anything. And PLA works great for printer parts. It does. The issue is heat. So maybe on this printer, on the motor mounts, you might have to replace them sooner, or you might have to, you know, screw in your screws once in a while. But I find with even ABS, if you're printing ABS in a hot environment, you still need to tighten your screws and you still need to adjust stuff. So if you're not printing ABS, just print your printer in PLA and call it a day. I think these printers really prove that it's possible. Is it optimal? No, it is not optimal. I would not suggest or recommend you do that. But if you want to try it out, go ahead. Give it a try. You might be surprised how well PLA works for printer parts. It's actually stiffer than ABS. And under normal conditions, your parts shouldn't crack. Like, that's kind of a rarity. It shouldn't crack unless you have very poor filament. If you keep it cool, it'll work. Yep. Hey, Pete, how's it going? You listening to Obsidian? Yeah, it's kind of rough. If you're on the Revo platform and you need to print something like, I don't know, carbon fiber nylon, you can't. You like physically can't. You can't just swap out your nozzle. So it must have been super frustrating for Revo users to just not have that ability to print like any abrasive filament, which does include Polyterra if you print enough of it. Let's see, I gotta tighten this. It's these motor tensioning system, or the motor tensioning is not optimal. Any printer that uses the motor mount to tension, it needs a improvement of some sort because it's just not great. So this will be good enough for now. It's not really that tight, but we'll deal with it. We will deals. There's nothing that limits you only one type of filament your printer. Just care where you put materials. Yeah. Like I had a fully PLA printer printing ABS parts for a couple weeks. The only thing that got loose was the shroud on my hot end. That's it. It was actually kind of shocking how well it worked if you don't have a super high ambient temp. Have they come out with the hardened Revo? Yes, that is this. This is a hardened Revo. In fact, to install it, you just do this. You take your Revo and you unscrew it. I have filament loaded right now. Looks like a green wrestling ring. I know it does. I don't like how there's a belt in the front here, because it kind of, you know, means you can't look at anything neatly. So we just removed the Revo hot end or nozzle, and I can put it into here. I can swap it out with the Obsidian, and I can actually remove the filament too, because I'll swap this out. And the reason why this works so well is because a Revo has an integrated heat break. Grab a K2 clip, and when you finish a print, you run about a 5mm retraction or so. It will push the filament back enough so it cools down in that smooth tube. And when you go to pull it out, Well, it's the same size as the hole, and it just comes right out. How precise is it after a change? That's what we're gonna well, it's not a good test because I messed around with the whole entire hot end, but that's really what I want to test. And it's a further discussion that we'll have to make, and this is a very interesting one. And it has to do with flow calibration. So let me swap out and grab another filament. What do you want to print? This is a hardened nozzle. What do you want to print? Give me a filament. So hypothetically, you don't need an offset change because it bottoms out at the same spot. They're about the same length, so you really shouldn't. PA612, PACF. Well, I have some. I don't know how dry it is, but it is in a dry box. I don't have my dryer actually set up. I have PA12. Oh, God. I have PA12. So, do you want to print it on here? Like, do you want to print nylon on this thing? Can we get a nylon in chat if you want me to print this nylon? While you all say yes, let me get my dry box set up. So what I typically do to print CF nylon, I don't have metal fill, no. Oh, there goes the hat again. Damn. No one's questioning the filament, which is fun. Okay, let's see. I currently have some pop blue ASA printed for someone's tool head that I've been working on. Oh, there goes the cover. We'll remove that nice, beautiful pop blue Polymaker ASA. Absolutely gorgeous and out of focus. The spool comes out of focus, by the way. By out of focus. Put another K2 clip on there. K2 clips are great for storage, but sometimes they do get in the way of printing, so I just remove them sometimes, depending on the setup. All right, there we go. Put it up here. And I can set this to maximum temperature because this thing is a great little dry box for nylon. It goes really high temps, and I've had great luck. So the interesting thing about a dry box is that it will actively dry it as it heats. So it'll, as it extrudes. So as the outer layers become exposed, it'll dry out the outer layer quicker than the inner layers. So you can theoretically just leave it in for a few minutes or X amount of time depending on how wet it is, and then start printing. You don't have to dry it for 1,000 hours if you're continuously drying and printing. So I found that interesting, and I've used that to my advantage many times when printing different materials like this. Print some feet. Some feet? Yeah, what do you want me to print in this PA12 nylon that I can actually print on stream? What should I print? What do you want me to print? And then I can remove this little Bowden tube thing because we're not extruding out of here, and I can put on this one. Another reason why I like the reverse Bowden setup is that I can just, you know, put in a new tube. I think it's long enough. I'm pretty sure it's long enough. I can prop this up using these cargo containers. Using the cargo containers. Try that, I guess. You're up indoors. It's a pretty neat model. It's available on printables. If I can remember how to get it assembled. Go. Any comments? Aren't there some line dryers? Yes, there are some dryers for industrial use that are specifically designed to dry filament as it goes. It kind of focuses the heat onto the filament path, but something like this works just the same. It's a lot cheaper. So there it goes. Propped up a little bit. I love it. Practical prints, am I right? Who made the Revo nozzle mod? What do you mean by that? Oh, the bottle opener. Okay. I think, can I click a link? I can't click a link. What? That's weird. I can't click a link? In... What? What is this nonsense? Can't click a link in StreamYard. Huh. Alright. So I am being... told to do this. Go. Yeah, I got it. I got it. Thank you. Thank you. Just kind of do this. Hopefully it's all set up. It is. All right, cool. So we will be maybe printing this if it fits on a V0. So this is a one-handed bottle opener. I was actually eyeballing this the other day. It uses a like dime or something. I think a nickel. What does it use? Okay, a dime. And you need M10 by. Okay, this is why I didn't print it because I don't think I have a 10 by 2. I think I have 10 by 3s. I'm not sure, but I think a 10 by 3 would probably work too. So let's see what they have. Oh, cool! They have different versions. Dime. 15% honeycomb. What is the difference? Let's see. Let me open up the Orca Slicer. Practical and want a toughness really. Yeah! Healy would probably work fine with this too. Alright, one thing to note, and this is very important. If you're printing a nylon, a carbon fiber nylon, I don't know if it's any nylon, but the CF nylon requires an interface layer. So you'll want to make sure to use glue stick. Otherwise, I think it adheres too much. At least this is, the recommendation from Polymaker. So always just put some glue stick down whenever you're printing CF nylon. I don't know what would happen otherwise, and I do not want to find out. So I can switch over to my Rook 2020 0.6 millimeter, because this is a 0.6 millimeter nozzle. We're gonna select. See, this is the issue when you have all of your different profiles in one list. Hopefully, Soft Beaver will fix this soon. But we want to do Rook, and I think there is a PA6CF Rook. I think that's about right. So I'm gonna print that 280C. This is probably fine. I set a max volumetric rate of 10 millimeters a second. The first layer is way too high. Really want this to be about like, I don't know, 40C. You don't even need a heated bed for this, but I just do 40C so it has a nice set point to reach. A flow ratio of 1, is that right? Oh boy, I don't know if this profile is 100% right. I don't think it will be 1, but let's do 0.95 just in case. I don't want to try a 1 if it's not going to work well. So I'll save that. And then for our profile, let's do a, here we go, Rook 2020 0.6. Perfect, 0.2 layers, mostly 0.6 line widths. Great. I have to do 0.66 because I have a reduced flow, and I want my minimum extrusion to be wider than the nozzle by a little bit. Need magic goo for regular nylon. Slipped off the bed otherwise. Oh, well, this is Polymaker nylon, so it's some special, very special sauce. Pretty good stuff. Go. Let's see if it'll fit. Moment of truth. It does. So let's switch back over to this, and then I'll hit print and see what happens. If you put glue down, do you think it would be safer to use a smooth bed instead of a textured bed? I mean, it doesn't really. I don't think it matters too much. I've had pretty good luck with texture beds and nylon. So I cover the whole thing. You can put glue stick on pretty much any print anyway. You can do 2 thin layers going each direction. A little overkill, but it works. And this is the SliceWorks glue stick, so this was sent over in a sample box by, I believe, Alien 3D, and it's worked out pretty well. The first thing I'm going to do, and this is a great sanity check. If you're unsure if you're using the offset, all you got to do is heat up your bed to whatever printing temp. So my temp is 40°C, and then I'm printing at 280°C. Just home your printer, okay? Oh, much better. Maybe a little bit too aggressive on the Y, but it's fine. So home it. Then go to the middle of your bed, which for me is, let's see, 60. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. 60, and then 60-ish right here. And then go Z equals 1. And then look at it. Look at the nozzle, right? It's a little hard to look on this setup, but it'd help if I installed the nozzle. Fight the gap. So you install your nozzle. It's like, something's wrong here. There's a bit too much of a gap. So you just find the hole wherever it is. Where's the hole? Where is the hole? Where is the hole? There it is, I think. Oh, it's because I have filament. Okay. That's why. There we go. Filament sticking through. That won't help.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, I got a bad feeling about this. So we just tighten it. Just like so. Until you can't tighten anymore. And then hypothetically, that'll be at a perfect, offset. So let's try this again. Heat up, like I said, heat it 280, and then 40°C in the bed. And we'll move it to Z equals 1. And I should be able to see, you might be able to as well, that it is perfect. Now let's try 0. Aha, yeah, my offset is just not correct. Nozzle print, sometimes, I recommend, sometimes printing with a nozzle. I'm just going to use an end stop or a piece of paper, and I'm just going to do a manual kind of tuning of the offset. Let me stay right now. Is it correct? It might be correct. Oh, there's glue stick. That's not going to work very good. Maybe it's good? You know what? We'll try it. You can't tell now because it's heating up. We'll try it. We'll see. It could be good. It might be good because I've already tuned the offset. It might be good. So we will see if this works. Why is it taking so long to heat up? Okay. Not used to ceramic heaters taking this long. Line with 1.5 millimeters. Right? Fun fact, you can extrude much wider than your nozzle diameter. So you can do up to 1.2 or so millimeters on a 0.4 nozzle without too much issue. Just go pretty slow. Maybe without nozzle wouldn't even heat up the filter. No, it wouldn't. It's not like an inductive heater. If it was an inductive heater, it might. That'd be interesting. All right. Let's see. So let's go to this right here and hit print. I don't even know if my IP address is correct. Oh, let's do the infill. Infill looks fine. This looks good. Oh yeah, it's not hexagon shape. We want the hexagon version. Because that looks fun. Hexagons are fun. Where was that set? No, not there. Not there. Where'd it go? It's gone. It's just gone. Alright. What version? So there's the one-handed bottle opener 2015 and with reinforcements. So let's try 15% honeycomb. See what that looks like. Because you could slice it without any top or bottom layers, but then it looks kind of weird. So I prefer to slice it with the infill pre-applied. Oh, it already does that, doesn't it? Interesting. Oh, is that what it's doing? It is doing it without. Okay. Let me read the files. Oh yeah, it's 0 top and bottom. It's exactly what it's doing. 0 top and bottom layers. Okay, that's exactly what I need to do. And then we'll do 100%. No. Hold on. So we have to do 0 top and bottom, hexagon infill about 15%, 5 perimeters, paint on supports for the little hole. A little hole. Oh, I see it. Okay. Getting some crackle again. Is it? Oh, that might have been from slicing. Let me know if it's fine right now. Let me know if it's good. I think it's just a performance issue. You can still hear it crackling, like right now. Interesting. I don't know what to do about that. Well, it's not doing anything right now, so it should be fine. Still there. Huh. Interesting. I don't know what else to change in the setup, because it was going fine. Sounds good again. Yeah, it might be something with that software. I'll try a different mixing software for next time. Better, okay. Okay, so we'll make sure all the settings are right before I slice this. And yes, of course, you know, buy a separate computer, set up your slicer on there just for the show, and then. So hexagon. Let me just show what I'm doing on here because it's better content at least. It's gonna be choppy, might as well. Browsing. Again? What if it's the slicer? It's not doing anything. No, the CPU is Oh, it is Is that 100%? What is using my... What is using... Streamlabs is using a lot. Streamlabs and Chrome. So it's literally just a computer being sucky. Okay. I have a PC here on my wish list. Well, I could. That's a lot of money. Software isn't even working. Wow. This isn't even working. That's crazy. Does that work Windows 11 maybe? Build a PC. Right, like who buys PCs? Alright, yeah, we're just running out of the music is not doing much. That's like the latest thing. It's probably my 10,000 Chrome tabs that I should probably kill. We'll fix that after. But let me get through this. We want a honeycomb infill at 15%. We want like 4 walls, 0 top, 0 bottom. And prepare to die. Okay, so we're gonna try printing this. Now kill some tabs. Hello, how's it going? We're currently doing a test stream over on both Twitch and YouTube using StreamYard and Streamlabs. Too much stuff going. Alright, let's see if this is any better. These are running a little bit more smoothly on my end. And it's maxed out. Chrome is like... Oh. We have some extrusion. It's way too close, I think. I can't tell. Bit close. It's probably not level too, like perfectly level, which is an issue with, you know, these beds. We have to manually level them. Lucky for Dragon Burner? Oh yeah, Dragon Burner is pog. So let's zoom in on this right here, get to a nice close-up of what we're working on. Yeah, oh, that nice belt in the way. Go, I'm a pro cameraman. Yeah, there we go. Higher, go. Beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous. And the camera's probably gonna shake a little bit, but yeah, so this is my printer. It's pretty nice. It does actually print fairly well, all things considered. I printed off these, I'm doing some testing with different resolutions, and I printed off some of 3D Printy's mushroom tops, and I think they look pretty good. So this is just Polymaker PLA Pro Red. So pretty decent overall, depending on what you print. And this still isn't even remotely tuned in. I YOLO the belt tensions. Nothing is really fine-tuned, but it's tuned enough. But we'll see how this works. Is it working, or is it just dying? Something weird going on with it. Let's see. 6 months so I can do those in actual chocolate, right? All right, something weird is going on. Maybe my flow was supposed to be 1. Yeah, this side's way too squished, and this side's not squished at all. So it's like tilted this way. Need to like loosen this side a little, maybe. Loosen that a little bit. It's so hard to get a manual level on these beds. And then in terms of flow, a little bit lackluster. I'll keep it on a flow of 1. We'll see. See if that was what it's supposed to be. Assuming you pre-order Cocoa Press. I have not pre-ordered a Cocoa Press because I do not have Cocoa Press money. So if someone wants to sponsor me a Cocoa Press, I would absolutely love to. I think Ellie is an absolutely awesome human being, and the whole project is pretty amazing. So if you want to sponsor me, hit me up. Otherwise, I will continue to live my life how I do. I should probably up the temperature too, although I don't know what the max temperature of this is. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. Appreciate ya. Zach the Foodie says, random question. Would anyone recommend the original Prusa Mini for newbies, or should you go straight to the i3? Okay, well, 2 things here. It depends if you need support or not. So the main benefit of having a Prusa printer is you get their support. Otherwise, it's just a 3D printer with a pretty good interface. So, that being said, the Prusa Mini is still a pretty capable printer. It's still, you know, I'd say relevant in today's age. The price, though, is definitely not, it doesn't align with a lot of the other offerings. So if you want to pay the Prusa tax and spend a little bit more, then go for it. But you're saying, should I jump right to the, you know, the Mark III? I mean, jump to the Mark IV if you can. Like, that's going to be a much better, way more relevant printer. If you can get a Mark III S Plus for cheap, then do that. Or if you're someone like Disturbed Medic who's trying to sell their Prusa Mini, which works perfectly fine for a discount, buy that, definitely. So, I would go for a big printer first. The Z is flying. I think it's like 30 millimeters a second. It's just belted Z. It can go as fast as the other axes if I wanted to. Let's see if our squish is decent. This looks a little too squished on that side. and not squish enough on this side. Okay. So let me loosen this up a little bit. There we go. And see what happens. Yay. You get a mini if there's a full kit. Yeah, it's still pretty expensive for the kit. 124 bust. But I think you'll find that a lot of people argue that even the Mark III, depending on what you use it for, is still a relevant printer. It all depends on what you want. If you're looking to do like standard speed prints with pretty decent quality, then a Mark III is not going to disappoint you. It really isn't. But if you're looking to push your printer and push the materials more to their limits, then you'd want to go with a Mark IV for sure. Especially if you're going for absolute quality. That's what the focus on the Mark IV is, just quality. Had a mini, sold it. Had a Mark III kit, sold it. And that's the thing, like it's a great starter printer. If you're trying to see if you like 3D printing or not, start with the Prusa. And then sell it, because it really doesn't lose too much value, all things considered. People will still buy them. They're kind of like iPhones, right? They'll still pay premium money, depending on, like, you know, they'll just like spend money on a Prusa just because it's a Prusa. It's because it's a known brand, it's reliable, etc. But that being said, if you're looking at either of those, I have to look at the Sovel. The SV06, the regular one, pretty damn solid machine for the price. Less than 300 bucks, and you get what is essentially the performance of a Prusa, and then some. You might just want to look at that. And then the Plus gives you a Volcano and a bigger bed. So if you have the room for it, man, just get the Plus. You can print normal size prints on it. I printed off the main section, the green part of this right here. This was printed on the Plus. Like, the quality is pretty dang good. This is Polyterra too. So again, the green was printed on the Plus. Like layer quality, very good. Flow, it can print pretty fast. Overall, I can't really ask for too much more. And the other stuff was printed on the Bugaboo printer that I've been building. Not as clean or crisp, but I'm still working on it. So seriously, it's a pretty good printer. It's also pretty reliable, just with stock settings. I, of course, you'd have to use Marlin for stock settings. I immediately transitioned to Clipper. So that's my thoughts. So coming from just a budget standpoint, I would definitely go for Sovel. Okay, I'm going to decrease my pressure advance a little bit. A lot of it. I think my infill's a little too fast for the time I'm printing at. Let me decrease the speed a bit. Pass the harsh light tests. What? What? With the extra 150 for a Trident? Now, if you're buying like a full an assembled Prusa and a Trident kit are two very different things. But again, like, all comes down to value. What do you want to spend your money on? Do you want a project? Or do you want something that just works? Some days, I wish I had something that just worked. Okay, slowing it down is going to be a much better result, although my pressure advance seems way off. Like, do I just not use pressure advance for this? Like, what is going on? Corners are heavily under extruded. Oh, it's better not be using Arachne. I will be upset if it's using Arachne. It's using Classic, okay. Choppy. Chop chop. Yeah, I don't know, guys. And it's just the audio, right? The video's good. Harsh light from the top down. Oh, like the cameras? Yeah, this one can't handle the harsh lighting. It's kind of bad. I'll have to figure it out later. Couldn't fathom doing a Vorn as a beginner. Oh yeah, like we talked about this on Twitter a bit. I would not recommend doing a Trident build or any Voron build as your first printer. Get a printer and understand what the heck 3D printing is. If you have no idea what 3D printing is, you're gonna have a bad time tuning your printer. You'll have to follow a ton of guides, you need like a lot of hand holding, versus, you know, buying a Solvol and printing with it. No, the print harsh light tests. Oh, you mean for Z quality? Oh. Hey, Royal Nomi, how's it going? This one's definitely not as bad as the other Rook I built. Definitely not as bad. In fact, I showed earlier the difference between the print on the Kaiwu, which was absolute garbage, and then this one, where the walls are pretty clean. I got back from 2 ads and I already feel like this thing. Well, feel free to subscribe over on Twitch if you have ads, or even better, get Twitch Turbo, which removes all ads from Twitch. But once you're done, you know what you're doing. For a Trident, no. Still absolutely not. I'm still learning stuff on my 2.4, and I've already built a bunch of printers. So, yeah, it depends on how much time and effort and research you put into it. What are we printing? I will post it in the chat. So we're printing the one-handed hexagonal bottle opener over on Printables. I saw this earlier, but now I'm printing it because I was told to. Still feel like we're under extruding a little bit. Let me just increase my flow. That'll do it. That'll do it. I don't know why I would need to, but whatever. 102%. Okay. Or increase the temperature. That might help too. Although, again, I don't know how hot this can go reasonably. Oh, wrong printer. Wrong printer. Where's my printer at? There it is. 102. Your first printer was a Mendel Prusa that you built. Wow. Crazy. And of course, when I talk about like tuning and stuff like that, we're chasing, you know, at some point we're chasing like the last 5%. In most cases, if you build a Voron and just print with it, it's going to be at least as good as an Ender 3 out of the box. At least. Just because you built it to their specifications. One good $300 was ABS parts. Bugaboo 300. I priced mine out. I got some of the, you know, higher performing parts because if you're building a printer, might as well build it a little bit nicer. I think it was closer to around 500, all things considered. Sometimes you're not going backwards, chasing less. Exactly, exactly. So a stock printer with a stock profile and stock everything is going to work generally more reliably than your custom tuned printer. I hate to say it. It happens to me all the time. I think I'm helping stuff and it's just not. At least because Ender 3s have absolutely great print quality. Like seriously, out of the box? Oh, great. It's just the fact that, you know, over time they slowly start to degrade and maintenance happens and stuff like that. That's why I don't like V-Wheels, because V-Wheels are great out of the box and then they very quickly degrade in my experience. If you want to support me directly, I do have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/hedgehogmakes. Feel free to support me there. That is the best place. But if you want to drop a sub or bits or whatever, that's also appreciated. Have a good night, Maker Viking. I will see you later. And for those of you tuning out, remember that on Friday, May 12th, I will be doing a stream very similar to this, hopefully with better audio quality. And we'll be doing a couple of giveaways. We'll do 2 $50 giveaways for West 3D and a bunch of Polymaker filament. So make sure to tune in. Yeah, I mostly use Patreon because it's the best way of generally supporting creators, and you also get a little bit of extra kickback, like with posts and stuff. Now, I'll warn you, I don't do a lot with my Patreon. I have some plans, but it just takes time. You have a box of V-Wheels swap in for standard maintenance? I know, right? You just subbed in a live stream. The Rook seem awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you. Oh, stumbled into a live stream. Welcome on in. I am dual streaming to YouTube today because not everyone uses Twitch. So when you want to check... Do I even have a description in my YouTube stream? I have no idea. Whatever. Twitch.tv/zombiehedgehog. That should get you there. Check me out. I stream most days. You give Tommy $3 errors and still give him a sub here. You ask yourself why? Because it looks better to have a sub. It actually does. But either way, I just appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys being here, subbed or non-subbed. It's just fun to have you around. But yeah, Rooks. Rooks are really cool printers. Now, I'll zoom out on this a bit. This is a Rook 2020, so it's a non-standard, well, it's a Rook 2020. It's not like a traditional Rook in the fact that it has a printed frame. This is the remnants, oh god, of my needing a rebuild MK1. So this is the Mark 1. I built this on stream. You can check out my YouTube channel for, it almost has over like 10,000 views now. But my MK1 build series, I built this. And I had some quality issues because I think the frame, if I squeeze this, like the rear frame just isn't stiff enough, it seems like. So I reprinted the part and I will rebuild it and retest it with new parts and see if I can fix whatever issues are happening. But this was definitely a fun printer to build, and even though it did have some minor Z issues, which some people wouldn't even care about, it's a fun build. So I will be working on a West 3D version coming out shortly as a kit, and then I'll be able to show that off as a stream. Have you built the 180 yet? I believe it still needs an update. It's not finished yet. And yes, I have many other printers that I'm working on. In fact, one of them is the Rook Evolution. So this is still, I haven't really touched it because I've had so many other printers that I'm working on, but this right here is the Rook Evolution. It's a fully 3D printed enclosed ABS printer. It's a bit chunky. It's about 150, but it's a project printer. If you want to print a lot of stuff and you like printing ABS, this is all PLA for testing, but you should print this in ABS. You know, go for that. And it's a little more useful than a Rook. And that's another thing about the Rook. A Rook is only about 110 by 110 print volume. So comfortably, you know, 100 millimeters, aiming for that for a model. It's sometimes hard to recommend because you can't fit every single thing you want to print on it. And cost-wise, you can pretty much scale it up for almost a negligible amount of money. In fact, you can just take this design and pretty much scale it up. Given it does have a cantilever bed, so I wouldn't go too much bigger, but still. Speaking of mushrooms, the hat fell off of my mushroom cat. In this weird material. I don't know what it is, but it is. It's a nice material. I got some filament scraps everywhere. Literally everywhere. And also, those of you who tuned into my last stream, this is my progress on the the giant ball. I didn't realize it was going to be that big, and I had to print off a lot more connectors, but it's working out well. What's the BOM cost in the 2020? I'd say about $50 more than the typical. $50 more than the typical Rook. So if a Rook kit is about $300, then I'd say $350 for the 2020. And in my opinion, if you're looking again for a reliable printer that has good quality, just get one of these. And if you're looking for a V0 that you only really need to print PLA on, get one of these. In fact, the build volume is so small in this that ABS prints would probably work fine. You can print a full self-printer front on a 110 by 110. Yeah? Well, there you go. For a second printer, it makes sense to make it small and fast. Yes. So, my general recommendation, get your first printer a size that you can print everything that you want to on without, you know, getting something too big. I wouldn't just go for a 400mm printer off the bat. A 300, like the Sol SV06 Plus, that will be a reasonable starter printer. It really would. It's a bit big, but the design of it makes it so the quality is quite well or quite good, and it's pretty easy to maintain. You know, it's a pretty basic printer, but it works well. I do have my mod that I'm working on, which is the Dual Link Z. I will be releasing this soon on Printables and my Patreon, so if you want to fix your Z-axis on your Sol, definitely check that out once I have it ready. So you can sign up for my Patreon for updates on that. X-Rail is actually gantry. Yeah, it's a floating gantry. And it works fine. Like, it does have a little bit of flex, but unless you're printing at crazy accelerations, you're not going to notice it. It's pretty interesting. Giant ball reminds you of connects. It does. 95% of your prints are under that. Well, there you go. Perfect printer for you. It heats up faster, just homes quick. There's no leveling, although there is a clicky version of the Dragon Burner. It would make sense to install clicky on the 2020. If you're interested in seeing that, leave a comment down in the video description if you want to see me install clicky. It's very possible, and I could probably install it pretty easily. And it would be nice to have auto, not bed leveling, but auto, it tells you how to adjust your bed. And it can make a bed mesh, so technically auto bed leveling. AVL. Wish you knew what they were thinking about the SV07. No comment. For many years, a CR10 S4. Ooh, too large, and so it'd heat the bed up. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily go for one of those, but the linear rails on the Sol SV06 Plus and the direct drive Volcano tool head, it's pretty good. Dual Z. Send it to you when it's ready. Send you what? It's already, but how do you compare a small to the Mark III? Okay. Oh, which one? I'm gonna, before I go into it, are you talking about the Rook, or are we talking about the Sol? Like, what printer are you comparing to? Tilt screw adjust, you think? Yeah. So it tells you where to adjust the screws. In fact, I've been doing that on the Bugaboo. The Bugaboo is it's a Tri-Z, but it's all linked with one belt. I will be doing a video on that shortly once I get the whole thing kind of out of beta. There's still a couple things on it need to be tuned to my liking, but I can use the same thing on any bed slinger, anything with adjustable screws. You can probe the screw locations, and it tells you how much to adjust them to get it trammed before you do a bed mesh. Oh, the File Flip Plus. Yeah, I will send that when it's ready. But you have to order belts for it. Like, you have to order parts. And it's not a huge deal, but it's still a big enough deal for me that it caused issues. Is mainboard in the SVO6? Yes, I have a 32. I used the Clipper config. I used everything for the Solval SVO6. So it's probably the same exact board. There's not much difference in the printer. One screen, would you recommend that for someone who just wants to print? Okay. Probably not. This, as good as it can print, I would probably not recommend as a pure, reliable printer. It's only as good as you build it, and I don't know how well you're going to build it, because you could have an issue with a crimp connection, etc. I mean, this goes for any custom printer, right? And because there is no guide for it, like, there's not a thing that says connect this to this, screw in this first, make sure this is right. You really have to know what you're doing. This one, for me, has been pretty reliable. It has been something that I've been able to, I mean, I shipped it across the country. I unboxed it. It was pretty much good to go out of the box with a couple of minor damaged parts, and it still worked. Otherwise, I mean, it's good. It's good. It's just small. If you can fit most of your prints on here, that's great. But if you want to print something like this, which to me is like a standard size print, well, yeah, you're probably looking at a Fuchsia mini size bed. Looks like the PTFE is borked. It's supposed to be like that. So this dry box has an absolutely terrible design where it just uses this, I don't know what you call it, but a rubber gasket that's too big to actually stop the Bowden tube from coming in. So what'll happen is you'll put the Bowden tube in, it'll slowly creep into the roll and get tangled. It's so annoying. So what I just do is I put a Bowden connection on the end of it that holds this from coming in. That's it. And the hole is too big for one of the smaller Bowden adapters, but too small for the bigger one. So I just do this and call it a day. It's actually a quite nice setup because you put the filament through, then you slide this over. Yeah, works well. So it's Whale League then. It's not though. It's a very simple build. You know, I recommend watching my Mark 1 build on YouTube. Watch that. This is a very simple build. Even simpler with the 2020 extrusions, I would say, overall, because you don't have to deal with printing the base and getting it all aligned. But it's definitely something I can recommend building. But as a reliable printer, 50-50. 50-50. This one is very reliable for me. So far, I've just sent prints to it and it's worked great. It's using a Revo Voron, so one of the most reliable hot ends, depending if your heater core doesn't die or not. But this is a newer one. I should be fine. It's using an LDO Orbiter extruder, which is also one of the best extruders on the market. It has two kind of direct 4010 fans. These are actually 12 volt fans that I'm just running at 24 volts. Works fine. Get a Dragon. I've heard a few too many reports about heat creep on Dragons. As long as you get a version that doesn't suffer from heat creep, go for it. But if you're, it should be fine on this printer because it's not enclosed, and if you're just printing PLA, should be fine. Just keep your attractions minimal. But I might not get a dragon if you're going to do the Bowden version of this. Retractions might cause some issues. You're right, I do have new emotes. I do. I was too busy getting my microphone set up. Can't use a heated bed. This version has a V0 bed that is heated, yes. In fact, the stock BOM, well, the stock build really uses a V0 bed. In fact, you can just print one out if you want to, but, or not print one out. You can use like a glass sheet and then print out adapters, but it's all set up for a V0 bed, which you can get for pretty cheap. So on Twitch, I do have emotes. So if you want to use fancy emotes, definitely check out Twitch. So let's see. Emotes. Emotes. We have a new one. Let's drop this for a second. Yeah, and then add a new one. I have an emote. With chat. I think it's this one. Yeah, there we go. Perfection. Yeah, because it's West 3D emotes over in. Does this work? It does. Look at that emote. Look at that. That's beautiful. That was made by K2 Kevin over on Twitch. It looks lovely. Like it looks like an actual balloon. I don't know why it looks so good, but it does. Man. And I forget I can. It's using StreamYard, so I can just pop up comments. So now is a great time for questions. Do you have any questions about this printer? If you want further clarification on something, etc., now is a great time to ask. What is that? Oh, that's cool. Is that your emote? I can't see it, but that looks like a V24. I love it. All right, go ahead and refresh that Twitch stream. That's your V2. Awesome. I love it, yeah. And if you're on Twitch, go and give CP Geek a follow. Does some various stuff and has been building printers, I think from West 3D. So go give him a follow. Lovely person. We have some new LDO emotes. These are just released. I guess they're in beta. What do you think? What do you think? You don't like him? Needs work? Alright, well, play around with them. You gotta put them on stream to see how you like them. Think about doing your first non-mag bed. Non-mag bed? Needs work. Doesn't. I like it. We could probably play around with it a little more. Non-mag bed. I've never used a mag bed. I mean, a magnetic sheet works fine. It just does. I haven't had any issues on that. You like the LDO symbol? I do too. I like the symbol too. There it is down there. So maybe we can work on that. Get the symbol, but fancified. like you had it originally. What controller? I'm assuming you're talking about this printer. So we are running a Big Tree Tech Manta M8P and sorry, M4P, because we only need 4 drivers. And for a build like this, it's nice to have everything integrated in a little compact package. So no additional pies just dangling around, nothing. It's all integrated. And that means I can take this with me. So it's a great little travel printer. If I want to just bring it around, I can. And so far, I mean, it seems pretty good. It's good. I would probably install the bigger feet. I think these feet are a little small looking, but good enough. I actually bought some sticky feet for the Bugaboo. I'm interested in giving these a try because it's literally just sticky, like, rubber. Just enough to keep it from sliding around, so I'll see how that works out for me. So CP Geeks V2 was all West 3D. All your V0 accessories have been bought from West 3D, but your V0 kit was bought from a user in the Garage Sale channel. Oh, neat. Yeah, if you're looking for some used boron parts, a lot of people buy this stuff and then decide, oh yeah, this is too much for me. And, you know, maybe they played around with it too long, can't really return it. It's hard. Once you start building like a boron kit, you can't just return it. So it's sometimes easier to just sell it. So keep an eye out for people that might even be local that are selling their boron kits because it's too much for them. You can get a good deal. Sometimes they're even assembled, and they're just assembled poorly, so you just have to tweak it a bit. So what is our ETA on this? 20 minutes? I guess we'll let it finish. We'll go until this print finishes and then call it night. So should you build a Rook? I would say if you're looking for a bit of a challenge or you're looking to just, you know, build something new, it's a fun design. The 2020 is even what I would consider a more reliable and more practical printer than the regular Rook. So this right here is going to be a daily driver printer, like something that if I need to print something, I'll just throw it on this printer. It's very easy to change filament. It's nice and small. I have all my Revo nozzles on here, so I can, you know, hypothetically change the size, and the offset should be good. So once I get a profile dialed in for each of those nozzles, I'll be golden. I can print, you know, not the biggest of item, but not the smallest. This version right here, I will also note that it's an extra 50 millimeters in the Z. So it is not as stubby as the original. And that's because it's using 2020 extrusions. So I can do that. So if you're looking to make maybe even, I would probably go up to 100 millimeters taller on this without really worrying, because the whole frame is a lot more solid. You can even add in those corner brackets, the internal corner brackets. That shouldn't be an issue at all to add some extra stability to it. But the rods shouldn't really be an issue because there's no real load on the rods. And the belt shouldn't be an issue, so nothing should really be an issue by increasing it an extra Z height. I really like this spool holder too. This is on printables. I forget where, but it's just a 2020 mount little bearing roller. And of course the Revos, but I'm sure most people won't be running a Revo on here. I just happen to have it. Zach! Let's see. Thank you for the subscription, tier 1. Welcome on in and thank you. Any recommended print sheet, smooth, satin, or okay. It's a bit of it's a journey. I've defaulted to textured. I tend to like how the bottom looks. I tend to like how it works. I find it works well enough for me. I do use a bed adhesive. I use Maker's Mistress from West 3D. It's essentially liquid glue stick, and it works great. But there are some cases where if you're printing something that you need to see the other side, I have been preferring the smooth side of a smooth PEI sheet. And it's funny because Bob had, claims a great dislike for textured sheets. And I still find uses for them. There's some stuff that I want textured. But there are some great uses for a smooth as well. I think satin sheets from Prusa, they probably represent what the top finish is going to look like the best. So I think that's why people like them. So they look still pretty good, and they work well, but they're not as smooth as the smooth sheets. All right, Medic, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you. Yep, I will book my Murph flight as soon as I can. Smooth enough for you, I know. How high do you print something on this? Okay, so this is a, let's see. In my slicer, I have, I don't know if this is accurate. Well, actually it should be. My Z offset is a perfect representation of the max build volume of this printer. Because I home on the bottom of the printer, so I home at the max Z. So I can hypothetically print all the way to where it homes. So I have it set as 170.16. So 170 on this printer. I would give it a little bit of buffer room. I'd say around 160 or so. 160, 165. But greater than 150 versus the stock printer, which is about 110. So you're adding an additional 50 millimeters by increasing the height by 50 millimeters. Go figure. Personally prefer smooth PEI. You like the glossy finish. Yep, the West 3D sheet, which is what I've been using, pretty solid. In fact, I had to switch to the smooth side because I started using Polymaker's Galaxy filament, their Galaxy ABS and ASA. And it turns out you can't see the Galaxy when you print on a textured sheet. You have to print on the smooth side. And it works pretty well. This was printed on the smooth. I can't really... of course, it's going to be like nearly impossible to show, but yeah, this was printed on the smooth, and it's going to blow out the camera. You can't even really see what this is, but feel-wise, like this is pretty smooth. And the top has a little bit of like a texture. Of course, this is angled, but still, it feels like PLA. So just the difference between the smooth side and then the printed side is jarring. It's not completely perfect. Yeah, if you're not running a bed adhesive at all, I would strongly recommend looking at something. Either the nanopolymer or something like Maker's Mistress. It helps. It really does. It gives you a little bit more reliability, and I am more for reliable stuff than speed. Welcome on in, Mad Cat. We are currently dual streaming to Twitch and YouTube tonight, so we're trying that out. We've had a couple issues with the microphone, but I think it's been mostly resolved. I think it's mostly the my computer being... It needs a little bit of TLC, so I'll work on that off stream. I closed out of some Chrome windows too, so that should help. Fabrico, Honey Badger, Black Texture PEI is your go-to. Yeah, I have the regular Honey Badger dual-sided, and I like the finish on that. It works pretty well. I love the filament sheets. Those have been working good. After you subbed, you were timed out for 1 minute? Wait, what? Interesting. Thank you for that. That shouldn't have happened, so I apologize. You need to get some 1000 grit sandpaper for your smooth PEI. So you're using a little bit of sandpaper to rough up the smooth PEI. That could be a good option because I think the smooth is like it's too smooth. So it would benefit from like a light sanding for sure. You just want to make sure it's even. That looks good. What looks good? Speaking of TLC, you worked in your Ender 3 tonight, got the fans rewired, and they work great now. Did you replace the stock fans? I had an Ender 3v2. I replaced every single fan on them on there. It was not ideal. They were pretty bad out of the box. Do you care for enclosures? If I'm printing ABS, in fact, I forgot I was preheating my printer down here. I should probably, whatever, I'm not gonna print on it. I was gonna print something on my 2.4, but I forgot. Oops. I mean, I guess I can. Do you guys have any recommendations for a print in this color right here? It's kind of like a natural white color. This is an ABS. Any recommended prints? And not just a fun print, like a a practical print? I don't know. Galaxy ABS colors look amazing. They do. I really like them. In fact, I like want to redo all my printers in Galaxy. I think I'm going to. So I have an Ender 3v2 that needs some desperate maintenance, and a BQBX which could use some maintenance as well. I'm thinking about reprinting both of those in the Galaxy filaments. Put new mainboard and wired the fans in wrong. Ah, that'll blow them up. Yeah. E3 V2. Okay, you put Clipper on it. Nice. So, you are newer to Clipper, right? How do you feel about the overall experience from someone who might not be as used to Clipper? I'd love to hear your feedback. What is that white creature thing? This is an IK 3D model. It's supposed to be a mushroom cat. So it's a little like mushroom cat. And it's hard to see in the white, but I think it's pretty cute. And it prints really good in 2.4, like extremely good. I'm very happy with how the 2.4 is printing in ABS. Stay on there. Debating off MMU? I'd love to get an MMU. Yeah, that would have been a great MMU print. In fact, I think all the files are there for MMU. I do have MMU. I have an Enraged Rabbit carrot feeder, but it doesn't like me. I essentially have to reprint the entire body of it, I think. Or at least like the connecting pieces, which is like the main body. One of these days. Hello, Ran, how do you pronounce your name? Brandon 3D. Welcome in. Ginger as a mushroom? Yeah, kinda. R and N. Wow. R and N 3D. Do you have another name you'd like to be called? You remember that next time you asked what to print? What? Wait, what? I remember what? R and N 3D. I can't, it doesn't like roll off the tongue for me. R and N. R and N. R and N. R and N. Oh my god. Oh, the ERCF body? That also requires a rebuild of it, and I didn't actually build this one, and I don't feel like playing around with that, I'll be honest. I almost like want to just build an ERCF from scratch to fix all the issues that are in the previous one. Oh, this camera's too high. Let's see. Oh, nice print, Liz. Good job. Nothing else. Glue stick works great. It does. Nail polymer, it's good. More my glue stick. Yeah, that's why I like the Maker's Mistress. It's a lot of product in here. And even applying a lot of it on my build plate, which I typically do, it lasts a long time. You don't want it to send to me. I will get it working one way or another. We'll get it working. You just have to have the really like the best tool head that's the most reliable. You have to have a really good filament path and really good filament extruding. Like I'm using these rep winders, and I didn't realize this, but you also need a buffer with these because they don't actually rewind the filaments, which kind of defeats the purpose for me. So I'm either going to switch to carrot patches or something that's easier to load. And yes, I have played with the tensions. It is not working well for me. So I might just give up on them. Have you ever printed all the parts to make your own 3D printer? Well, you're looking at one of them. I have a down here, if I can show it. I have the Bugaboo right down here. So this is a Core XY printer. There we go, right here, where all of the Z belts are linked. So it's kind of a, it's similar to VZBot, but like Tri-Z. It's actually, I don't know, is the B1 less or more? I can't really tell. I mean, it's obviously less than a VZBot, but it's also not as rigid as a VZBot. That's a neat little printer. And so far, it's been pretty fun. But yeah, I just printed off all those parts. Not the extrusions, though. And of course, this right here. And then, of course, I built the simple core right back there. That was my really first fully custom 3D printer. There we go. So I decided to install the ERCF on there for now. This camera got bumped. I gotta do something about that. There we go. Still too low. Feel too low. Oh, too high. Whatever. Good enough. Check this one out. Check out what? Did you send me a link? Oh, there you go, KT. Wow. That's pretty cool. You don't know how to do it or where to get the files. You see them on thing. You see what? Are you talking about just like a custom printer? Like what are you referring to? You don't see the link? Is it on YouTube? You can't put links on YouTube. Links don't work on YouTube. Just DM me. Oh, or that. I then have to go into Twitch because I can't click on links. ERCF buffer array. What is this? Are these just carrot patches? Or are they something different? Oh, yeah. They're just carrot patches. Yeah, I'll look into that too. Looks like a neat little solution. Shows you sunset. Yeah, it'll show it. It just doesn't pop up. YouTube just doesn't. It's all links go away unless you're a moderator. So I could make you a moderator on there too. Are you gonna mod of my other channel? I don't know. You want to print one? Other people have printed. Okay. There are a lot of resources for custom printers. I would check out one of the main kind of, I would say official builders of 3D printers. So Steve Builds on YouTube has done a couple of series on a handful of printers, including his Trident. So he helped develop the Trident, which is probably like the best overall custom printer, I would say, for beginners, for like actually practical sized prints. There's also Nero 3D, who's put together a bunch of printers by now. Modbot has some build series over on YouTube. Otherwise than that, there is the Rolohan Discord for these style of printers. So like both of these are Rolohan printers. They're a lot more simplified, a lot less instructions and hand-holding, but you still get the community. If you want additional help off stream, feel free to sign up for my Patreon, and you can private message me over on YouTube, on anywhere. If you want to do it on Patreon or preferably Discord, we could talk about some custom printers and kind of work around what's probably best for you. But I would probably start off with something like an LDO Trident kit from West 3D. That's my general recommendation for beginners because it's a pretty simple build, but it's still involved enough to where you can get, you know, it's a good experience to build and you get a really nice printer out of it. Mandela regular flatbed to 0.2 or certified flat down to 0.02 worth 2 times price. No, not when bed meshes exists. Honestly, I'm happy with anything under 0.2. I'm happy with anything under 0.3 actually, because you can compensate a lot on a first layer, and that's like, you remember, you're talking about like the width of a hair. That's not really, unless you're going probeless and you're not probing every print, I would just go with the bed mesh and call it a day. Hey John, how's it going? We are on both Twitch and YouTube today. It's actually working out quite well. I can read both of the chats over in StreamYard. Oh, our print's done. So our print's done and it goes to the bottom of the plate. Let's give a nice zoom in. Whoop. And see how it did. All right. Overall, not bad. This is my first nylon print on the Revo. So this is Polymaker's PA12 CF. We printed a back to more. There we go. The sports camera off. The most ridiculous things to print in a PA12. Now we have a bottle opener. Do you have the beacon set up? Yes, I do. I can show you a mesh that I did. So probably needs some work on the offsets. Like I think I had a little bit too much squish. I think it's probably pretty good. Obviously, no top layers. It looks a little funky, but there you go. This is the wall quality on it. Given this is a carbon fiber filament, but pretty good. Pretty consistent. Looks good in real life. anneal it. I could anneal it too if I wanted to. I don't even think I would bother with this. But let's see if I have a saved bed mesh. I don't. Let me run a bed mesh for you. You want to see the full works? Well, here you go. Because I paid way too much for a beacon, and I should get as much use out of it as I can. Now, given it's a very good probe, it's just like a lot for what it is. Oh, this camera keeps bumping this. Weird. There we go. That's still high. Whatever. You get the point. Rocket, Playhouse, and do you go ductile or rigid? I'd have to see the model, but I mean, in most cases, layered adhesion always tends to win. So, like an ASA, and also what color you want it. And if it's like easily printable in an ABS or ASA. Have a good night, Pezliz. Thanks for stopping by. And thank you, Snowpants FPV, for the follow. I appreciate you. Alright, so we did that. We're going to do a Z-tilt. Otherwise, we will definitely destroy our bed. Hey now. This is pretty good. I don't have any cans to open, but when I do, I will be certain to forget that I own this. But I mean, it's pretty, like, this is strong. It's a carbon fiber nylon bottle opener. How many grams is this? How many grams do we waste on this? I'm curious now. It's just casually printing. Oh, PA12. The world we live in. Alright, it did its mesh. I'm going to do one more Z. And now let's run a 100 by 20 bed mesh. There it goes. 100 by 20. Rat Rig V-Core 500 mag bed has 25 mags. Okay. If there's a version of that bed without magnets, I would go for that and then use a beacon. Because this is the kind of accuracy you get when you switch over to beacon. Where does it go? Here. Look at this. Let me zoom in a bit. But this is the bed mesh for beacon. 100 by 20. Isn't that insane? Is it Mars? That's what I get for getting a B-stock 350 plate. I mean, if you want to see flat, this is the height map on my Voron, my V2. Like, that's pretty good. Okay, okay. That's the one you sent me, Bob. It is ridiculously flat. 0.08, like, wow. In the middle, it's essentially like dead flat. But yeah, on here, it's the edges get a little bit warpy. A little bit. And remember, this is only on the outsides. Like, this is the far corners. The bed mount is a little bit jank. It's the 2.4 bed on whatever setup I have. If I just probed in this area, it would be fine. Like, you know, we're talking 0.03 to like 0.0. Yeah, so we're at a 0.03 variance where all this yellow is. 0.03. Yeah. 0.03. That's like, that's nothing. So a little bit of compensation. Like, how often am I printing in this section of the bed? Almost never. In fact, I can't even use that much of the bed. I can only use like this much. So, Put blue tape on the magnet. Oh, I tried. It is very hard to get this correct. Do you have extrusion backers? No, I don't print and close with this printer. It's an open printer. But this is also with my very messed up, very messed up gantry. Like, it's a miracle that thing still prints. So we will be replacing that with a different motion system. Probably the one off of the Galaxy 1, the Hyperdrive Galaxy 1 printer, because that looks like an awesome gantry and I can't wait to try it out. So yeah, that's been this. I'm gonna switch right over here. That's all I have for you guys today. Or Xbox. I see. Hit it with a hammer. It's remember, we're talking like 0.02. That's less than a layer height. That's like dumb. I would be happy if that was in the middle of the bed. Like, I mean, it wouldn't be happy, but it would work. You just got here. Yeah, we're pushing a fair bit of time on this stream. So again, make sure to tune in to Friday's stream. We'll be giving away a couple of West 3D gift cards. We'll also be giving away some Polymaker filament. So if you want to try some of these colors, there's some new colors coming in from Polymaker. I don't think I'll have them in time, but I have some new colors. You win the Pantheon? Absolutely. Yeah, step on in and win the Pantheon. Maybe we'll have a bamboo in the way by then. Maybe, hopefully. Probably turn off this heater now and store the nylon. Any other questions before we go? Sometimes not the bed, but the extrusions have some slight bend. Yeah, that's possible too. Yeah, it's very possible. Dual extrusion polytear? Yep, I have some coming on the way. Who let the dogs out? I think you did. What is the best in life? All. Any more questions? Going to the city tomorrow. Thinking about getting the stuff you need for a 300mm Rook 2020. 300mm? Oh, tall? Tall, hopefully? Which direction are you talking about? What's the ultimate question? I think that one is... Thanks to the stream? That's not a question. Is it possible to use a clicky probe as the ZN stop as well, even though it gets stowed? On which printer? In general? On the 2.4, I use my clicky as the ZN stop. So it'll do X, Y, and then it grabs the Z, and then probes. And I find that more reliable than the nozzle probing on the ZN stop. All right. Let's find someone. So we're on Twitch. So let's find someone to raid over to on Twitch. I think I covered everything I need to. Was there anything else I missed? Is there anything? Printed some pretty cool stuff today. Happy. And the new model from Gulfspur works. So yay! Beta tested live on stream. I'm gonna print off the new hat for my snowman and the rest of the parts for it over the next day. That'll be fun. And yeah, I'll see you guys. I'm probably streaming tomorrow. If I do, it's just me on Twitch, so make sure to follow me there. And then let's raid out. That's not Twitch. Yeah, there's a new party hat for the snowman. So if you have a snowman, make sure to print that out for Friday and send me a picture. What time on Friday? I would aim for 10. I'm probably going to go a little bit earlier, but who knows? I run into technical issues. So around 9 to 10 on Friday Eastern time. Let's see. Play audio. Oh, let's run over here. This was fun the other time. All right. Let's see. Your daughter has a snowman. Y'all think she happy to touch it? Well, it's the top hat, right? It's just magnetic. There we go. All right, well, this has been a pretty fun stream. Hope you guys all enjoyed. Thank you for sticking with me through the technical difficulties. What can I say? Thank you to Polymaker for supplying filament to be used on this stream. Thank you for the PA-12 that we turned into a bottle opener. I'm sure this will work fine. Your hat is magnetic glued on. Oof, ouch. Build a snowman. We can make him our best friend. We can name him Bob, or we can name him Doof. What? What song is that? Peak bottle opener next? No. No, we already did the torture toaster in nylon. Ciao. All right, what's our raid time at? Still halfway through. Thank you to West 3D. I have some stuff coming in. Maybe we'll do a package opening on Friday. If I get any more Polymaker in, we'll save that as well. And yeah, have a good time. I will see you guys later, and goodbye.